Hi, everybody.
Hi.
That was amazing. That was so cool. I don't know if you guys caught it, but Chef Hadassah's segment was wonderful, and I'm already hungry. Welcome to our second Thanksgiving meal demo this morning, brought to you by the makers of the Jennie-O turkey brand, if there's no surprise there. My name is Laurie March. I am a HGTV remodeler, kitchen whisperer, professional organizer of things. Also, I'm an avid urban gardener, which means very often I end up with a lot of vegetables and I have to figure out how to cook them. So for me, that's how I've learned a ton of my favorite cooking secrets. So excited to be with you guys today. This year, I think the holidays are going to be really different for a lot of us. And that's one of the best parts about this segment. There's going to be so many more home cooks. Maybe you're used to going to other people's houses for the holidays and just bringing the rolls like me, or, cooking one side dish. But this year, it's all about people at home who are just trying something new. So we're here to support those home cooks, really celebrating you guys, giving you some fun ideas for how to make the main event, the turkey, right? Every hour on the hour here until 2 o'clock Central, you're gonna get a new demo from an amazing chef teaching you a lot of their kitchen skills and hopefully a bunch of their secrets too. Our next guest is Chef Adrianne Calvo, and she's gonna show us how to make the turkey a little more interesting, excuse me, with some Caribbean flavors. Chef, hi, good morning.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. It's one where it's not about gift giving, it's about family, being grateful, and it's about food. It's about what food does to people. So thanks for having me. And I'm fangirling over you, by the way.
Oh my gosh, right back at you. Wait a minute. I didn't even get to tell people how awesome you are. I'm going to go down this list so people know exactly how cool you are. You own 3 restaurants in Miami, not 1, not 2, but 3, and you're the chef of all 3. I feel like your history is incredible. TV personality, cookbook author at a very young age, I might add, named one of Miami's best chefs. And I just keep coming back to the 3 restaurants. How do you have time to do anything? I tell you.
Time management is a big deal, but I have a wonderful team behind me that believe in the restaurant and they live and breathe our mission.
Yes, I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear what you're going to make for us today. Can you just let us in on all the secrets that you're about to create?
Okay, so one of the things that I really thought about 2020 is that we missed vacation time. A lot of us were quarantined, we weren't allowed to travel, things like that, right? So I thought, why not make Thanksgiving an exotic Caribbean destination inspired turkey?
Whoa.
So when you go to the Caribbean, you think rum, you think jerk, you think lime, right? You think lavish cocktails, tropical cocktails, right? So I thought turkey is a fantastic canvas for all of these flavors. And yet we tend to be stuck on the same few ingredients when it comes to Thanksgiving. So this year, a lot of us aren't traveling for the holidays. Thanksgiving is not huge. So I think this is a year to experiment. Let's get our culinary chops going, and maybe these crazy recipes will work. And if they don't work, you know what? Next year we'll go back to traditional turkey stuff. But this year, let's get our vacation feels going during Thanksgiving. Why not?
Chef, I love that. So are you saying this is a good year to maybe take a risk and try something a little bit different?
Yes, exactly. Don't mind me touching my ear. Is that I'm hearing you like 3 seconds after, and then I hear myself talk. So if you hear me or see me doing this, it's just for audio.
You got a lot going on there, Chef. We sure know.
So we're going to start off with a rum brine. Okay, so have you heard of guava and jerk before as these ingredients?
Yep.
Guava has this, if you could mix lychee, passion fruit, and strawberry, I feel like you'd get a guava. So I got guava marmalade, jerk seasoning, which is a spicy spice mixture known in Jamaica. but they don't just use it in Jamaica. They use it in a lot of like Grand Cayman. They use it in a lot of these tropical Caribbean destinations. So we're gonna start off with the brine. I have some water boiling here. Interrupt me, ask me questions as I go, by the way.
I will. And by the way, Chef, I'm also monitoring your chat room. So
Okay.
as people pop up, I will be happy to tell you any questions. Actually, I already have a question for you. What's jerk seasoning?
Jerk seasoning is a spice blend of like garlic, cumin, tarragon, Scotch bonnet peppers, garlic, onion. You mix it all up, like all of it into this paste, very aromatic, and you can get spicy to mild or mild to spice. Okay. They add cinnamon as well. Okay. Water, rum. This is going to go right into the pot. Then we have here equal parts sugar, salt, honey. I have some sour oranges, which is, can we do something about this audio? Because I hear myself cut off 3 times. A little bit weird. So sour oranges, also known as bitter orange. You can use limes and oranges if you don't have bitter orange, but this is just this happy mixture between this bitter lime and a sweet orange. Okay, so we're gonna mix this up. Oh, garlic cloves.
Garlic is so important, Chef. Garlic
sweet
is
onions.
So good.
We're gonna let this come to a boil. And so what this is gonna do, that rum flavor, and you know, the garlic, the onion, the bitter orange or the limes, whichever one you have, is all gonna come together and make this really flavorful liquid. So you might ask, why brine? Brining is spectacular for any lean meats. So for chicken breast, for any type of beef that's really lean, what happens here is that during the cooking process, you lose a lot of the moisture of the meat. Salt brining, which is basically a salt solution with different flavors, will impart moisture back into the lean meat. So it makes it juicy, moist. You're able to infuse the flavors that you want right back into this really lean piece of meat. In this case, our Thanksgiving turkey.
Chef, it sounds like you're about to create some maximum flavor. Is that?
Yes.
I don't know if you know this, but this
maximum
is
flavor.
Signature phrase and signature cooking style. She's creating maximum flavor here.
So maximum flavor, you would say, is like, well, what is that? Okay, are you telling me that I have a lot of flavor? Okay, or am I cooking with a lot of flavor? Yes, but there's a science behind maximum flavor, and that's activating all parts of your palate. So our palate is sweet, sour, salty, bitter, spicy. And so when all parts are activated, even just a little bit, what happens is that it sends messages back to your brain because it's activated. So it's like boom, 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 boom. So that means with your brain receiving all these messages, it thinks it's happy. It's like, wow, that's super delicious. And I don't know why it's so delicious, right? Well, that's because you were getting messages from the spice, from the sour, from the salty, and all of that. So every time I create a dish, including this turkey, it has a little bit of everything. Okay, so this is just about ready. Okay, so now we get our turkey, our beautiful Jennie-O turkey.
Hooray!
Now, yay! Okay, so I have this big Lexan, but you can use any storage container that you may have. Okay. It doesn't necessarily have to be a food container, but if you get one of these, this is great, and you can use this for other things as well. Okay, this is not that hot. Perfect.
I love it. All right, that's looking good. So the brine, is the brine going in first or the bird goes in first?
The bird goes first.
The chicken or the egg? It's a very important question.
Boom. All right, here we go.
Yay.
Okay, so very carefully, we're gonna pour this liquid into the turkey.
Maximum flavor arriving.
There we go. Okay, so this has to go put away into the ice box for at least 24 hours. Okay.
And Chef, why do we brine for 24 hours? What's happening in there? That's, what's going on in there? What's the science in there?
So brining is to impart juices, natural moisture into this lean meat. So you're also removing impurities from the meat as well. So whatever is, yeah, I know. So that's a great technique to remove impurities, impart flavor, and restore all types of juiciness and moisture during the cooking process. Okay. So now we're going to move into our compound butter. Okay. Compound butter is a butter with multiple flavorings in it. We're using this to layer between the skin and the flesh. I've started with a little bit of unsalted butter and guava marmalade.
Okay, so chef, we want to use an unsalted butter for this?
Yes.
Got it. Because we're adding a lot of flavor to it anyway.
Yes, and guava marmalade. Now, if you can't find guava marmalade, which you can buy on Amazon or anything like that, Walmart has it as well. But if you can't, strawberry jam. Okay.
I feel like most of us have some strawberry jam floating around the house.
Yes. Jerk seasoning. Okay, so you're going to gauge this to however spicy you want it or mild. Mix this up. Here I have a little bit of garlic salt and paprika.
Yes.
We're going to mix this up very well. Okay. Now you can do this the day ahead. And this saves our meat even a week ahead and put it in the fridge.
I like the idea of doing some things ahead of time because I feel like the holidays can be so stressful, and trying to time out a meal if you're not used to that might really be intimidating for a home cook. So it sounds like this compound butter is one of the elements that you might be able to knock out in advance for less stress.
Yes, and it makes a ton of difference in your flavor and your skin. And not just that, the color of your turkey as well. Okay, so this goes in the fridge as well.
And chef, you said a week. That, like, can a compound butter last for a while? Is that something that we could sort of, leave in the fridge?
It can last for like at least 6 months.
Whoa, awesome.
Yes. All right. So next thing on the agenda here, we're going to create Mirepoix. Mirepoix is onions, carrots, celery, and you put that on the bottom of the turkey when it's roasting so that it's elevated, it breathes, but as the juices drip, it's kind of like the foundation of the sauce. It could be the foundation of your gravy if you're making one. Just elevates your turkey drippings to another level, to a maximum flavor level.
Yes, maximum flavor. I was waiting.
There it is.
So
there it is.
Underneath,
okay.
And it's actually, it sounds like it's structural, right? It's going to sit underneath the turkey, keep it off the cooking surface a little bit, and then you're going to use it later.
Exactly. So let's start cutting. Okay.
Super functional. I love that. You put it to work and then you put it to work again.
Exactly. Yes. Dual multitasking.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you don't have a fancy turkey pan, a Mirepoix also works well for this because you can just use a baking dish, put a little pile of Mirepoix on the bottom in the center, and there you go.
Steph, it looks like you cut these pretty big too. These are larger pieces. Is that the best way to knock that out?
So you don't want to cut them real small because what happens is that then they burn. Oh. So you want them to have the lifeline of the entire time the turkey is roasting.
Okay. So those are like about 1 inch each, maybe something like that?
Yep, exactly. Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. That's
so to your Mirepoix, you can also add aromatics like rosemary, thyme if you like, bay leaves. Okay.
Cool.
Do you make your turkey with Mirepoix?
It's funny. I didn't really know what it was for the longest time. It's just like one of those words that just sort of breezes by and sounds so fancy, right? And
yes.
I realized later it's actually wildly simple, right? And I myself tend to show up at other people's houses for the holidays. I bring the rolls. I bring the booze. Let's be real. I bring whatever.
Okay.
I stop and get ice for people. Like, I am really good at showing up to eat. I wear the stretchy pants and get ready to just fall in love with whatever you have cooked. So I feel like all of these tips are just going to make me even better this year. But yeah, Mirepoix for sure is something that I had to learn about, but then once you know.
Then you know. And then another thing about Mirepoix is if you are prepping it, you can prep this a couple days in advance as well. Put it in the fridge. You could just bring it out when it's baking time.
Okay, cool. And Chef, remind me again what we're using this for.
This is for the base of the turkey.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, you're going to see that. I'm going to start building it pretty soon.
Cool.
Okay, we're going to set this aside. Okay.
Look at that. That's a good looking.
This is my favorite type of turkey pan. Not so deep because this allows for the convection part, all the air to come around the turkey. So it gets a really nice, even color. I know that roasting pans come up pretty high, but what happens is that then your bottom half of your turkey is pretty white and it starts to get steamed versus really nice and golden.
Okay, that's a great tip, Chef. I feel like some people might be buying a pan for this year that maybe didn't have one before, if this is their first time as a home cook making their own turkey. So that's already a great tip today.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to add the onion. One whole big onion for one turkey is great.
And is that a white onion?
This is a sweet yellow onion.
Okay. And is that your favorite for this one?
Yes, so they have the nicest, longest cooking time. You never want to cook with a white onion. White onion is made for a topping or a salad, like what you get in a hot dog.
Yeah.
Yes. Red onions are strictly made for salads, and these are meant for roasting and soups and long cooking times.
So the sweet onion is perhaps the workhorse in the onion
Yes,
family.
absolutely.
I love it.
Okay.
That already looks good. It's actually one of my favorite things about Thanksgiving is it seems like it's always so colorful. You know, there's so many pretty things going on.
Yes, and the ingredients are so bountiful, flavorful. They're not just simple, quick fix ingredients. These are like the foundations of actual cooking, like French cooking, classic cooking. So I get really excited to make Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, I'm cleaning because believe it or not, being organized and clean makes cooking for a big party like this much easier, you know?
I think it's important too, because sometimes people forget that when you're working with a raw bird, you really have to just pay attention to your food safety and wipe down the counters, clean up your surfaces. I do think that's really important.
Very.
When you're busy, it's a kind of not quite catch it. So I'm happy to see you doing such a good job keeping up on the cleaning.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So now we're going to remove our bird from the brine. 24 hours later. Oh boy.
Jeff, did you name this bird, or should we see if anybody out there has a name for this bird?
Wash your hands when you touch the bird, even if you're going to touch the bird again, but you don't know what you touch in between, so keep it clean.
Yeah, awesome. And are you singing happy birthday? I know that's the rules for when
happy birthday, Merry Christmas, a bunch of stuff. Okay, so discard the juices. Yep. We don't need that anymore.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay. So this salt bath, again, one more time, what this does is that it imparts moisture, flavor, restores juiciness during the cooking process. Okay. Flavor secret, this. We're going to get our hands in between the skin and the flesh.
We're getting personal here.
You got to go carefully though.
Okay, go slow, huh?
Go slow.
Got it. And this is where that compound butter is going to go, right?
Exactly.
Yes. I was really excited about that. That's going to be so tasty.
Yes, so during the cooking process, you're going to get the flavor not only in the meat, in the skin, all around. It's going to fall into this mirepoix. It's going to make the most amazing, exotic turkey drippings ever.
Yes, exotic. I love that. I feel like the Caribbean flavor is definitely going to be exotic and just a different kind of savory.
Yes. I have always said I'm allergic to boring. And I've never felt that more true than this year.
I mean, I like your point earlier about how this is a great year to take risks because maybe you're not having 20 or 15 people to your house this year. Maybe it's a smaller gathering. So, you know, it seems like this might be a good time to test out something new.
Yeah, and you might not be upsetting using an old family recipe, you know.
Yes, people get really serious about Granny's recipe or somebody's cousin's, the collard greens or the mac and cheese. Everybody's got that one recipe.
Of course.
Wrong, you're in big trouble, or you're like not in the will anymore, you know?
I'm laughing, but that's pretty serious.
I know. Okay. Cooking serious.
So I'm preheating the oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and I'm gonna cook this for about 20 minutes per pound. I wanna make sure that I reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when you know it's done. I'm gonna baste the turkey every 15 to 20 minutes as well.
Got it.
Okay, so in the oven it goes.
And 165 at the thickest part of the bird. Is that right, Chef?
The thickest part, and usually that is the breast, you know?
Got it. And do you set an alarm on your cell phone? Like, how do you manage that every 20 minutes for the basting? Is it just, you're super dedicated the entire time and pay?
I am, but I will use an alarm, but I am super dedicated. I get excited as I see every time I open the oven door, it's a shade darker or something like that.
So much fun.
Okay. So in the oven it goes.
All right.
So now, because I have been working with a raw bird, some juices may have fallen. I've been, you know, traditional raw bird stuff. I'm going to switch out my cutting board altogether now.
Awesome. That's really smart. So you, in advance, you knew, and you have a separate cutting board that you can bust out for the side dishes or your next.
Yes.
Cool. You're so smart.
Okay. Very clean. Remove my cooking utensils as well.
Yeah, awesome. That's a good looking cutting board.
Thank you. It's one of my favorites. Okay, so we're using flavors like rum and sour orange or lime. We're using jerk, which has cloves and cinnamon and Scotch bonnet peppers. You're like, well, what kind of side dishes go with this turkey? I like to do simple roasted potatoes like this. These have like red russet potatoes. We got goldens, we got Peruvian purples in here as well. They've been cooked with some butter, olive oil, kosher salt, and lemon zest. Very simple. This takes 20 minutes in the oven, but the flavors complement the turkey.
Butter and olive oil, both?
Yes, both. Also like a compound flavoring there, a compound butter.
Yeah.
Okay, so then here we have roasted carrots, rosemary, and hazelnuts. Also, the hazelnut really does well with that cinnamon and that allspice from the jerk and the spice. It takes in the spice very, very well. Carrots and guava, both on the sweet level, which leads me to my next question. Is it pecan, or picken?
I mean, I think I'm in the pecan family because I was just thinking if I was saying I'm bringing the pecan pie, I think I'm a pecan.
Okay.
And you're a pecan?
Pecan. Pecan pie.
Yeah, you guys, this could be a really good debate, I tell you.
I know. Which pecan are you?
They look so tasty. And both of these things, Chef, are things you're making day of, right? Those two sides are not things you're making in advance?
No, these are day of.
Awesome.
Day of. Okay, so here's our turkey. Ready, glistening. Now our turkey drippings, I collected them. This is Thanksgiving gold.
Look at that.
We pour this right before serving.
Right before, oh, that looks.
Right before carving. You want to make sure people are around you for this. This is like the ooh-ah moment, the food porn
audience. They're all there, they're trapped, they're a captive audience, and you get to sort of command performance, the pouring.
I love doing this.
Wow.
You see how no knife. You just twirl this right off. That's how tender this is.
So
Ooh.
good. Jeff,
Oh my
I think
God.
you need to taste that and tell us how it is. Are we okay on that? I mean,
It's maximum flavor, baby.
yes.
You know, you'd expect that from a Jennie-O turkey, right?
Yes, I would. I would. So cool. So it looks nice and brown too, like perfectly toasted. Is that compound butter doing its job?
It's definitely the compound butter. The guava definitely has more sweetness to it. You did the brine with honey and sugar in it, so that adds to the caramelization all around it.
That's so pretty. And that's a really
Thank
good
you.
platter too. I feel like you had the right dishes to do the job here.
I told you it was my favorite holiday.
Jeff, that's so beautiful. So
Thank you.
the combination of the compound butter and the jerk seasoning, if you were going to describe it to somebody what it tastes like how would you describe that flavor that you've just nibbled on?
Sweet and spicy with a little bit of that allspice. I'm trying to think. It's just sweet and spicy.
Yeah.
You know, definitely juicy though. Have you ever gone to a theme park and had that big turkey leg?
Yeah. My
That's
husband
what this reminds me of.
It's like you're a Neanderthal or something when you walk with it, right?
Yes.
That's his favorite. And so is that sitting on parsley?
I have flat leaf parsley here, and then the Mirepoix is still under it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Chef, are you a stuffing inside the bird or
Never.
outside the bird lady?
I don't stuff the bird. I actually put Mirepoix in there just for flavoring, but no, because if I was a guest and I was taking stuffing out of this cavity, I would feel weird.
Interesting. Yeah. I feel like this is also a family debate. People are really set on one way or the other. So my family will do both. So you can pick which one, which you are, the stuffing in or the stuffing out.
Yeah, I'm definitely outside.
Yeah. By the way, people really loved your onion tip about the different onions. I feel like that's a great one that, you know, off the top of your head, you wouldn't really know that they all act differently or have different flavor profiles that they add to your dishes, or even just like can last longer in the oven. I feel like that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, those are the perks of culinary school, knowing the difference between onions.
So Chef, if somebody can't get their hands on guava, I know that really seemed like a big part of this dish. I think you may have mentioned it earlier, but what could they supplement instead?
Strawberry jam.
Right.
If you want to get super technical, mix a little bit of peach preserves with strawberry jam. You'll get close.
Got it. Cool. That looks wonderful. I don't know if you saw it, Chef, but there's a big debate about the side dishes for the holidays. And I saw a map recently on the internet about every state having a different most popular side dish. So I got to give you the quiz. What is your favorite side dish for the holidays?
Stuffing.
Stuffing. You're a stuffing gal. I think I'm a mac and cheese, although I really like the sort of sweet potatoes that you burn the marshmallows over. That gets me every time. So good.
I feel like Thanksgiving, it's not just one side dish. You have to have the array of side dishes for it to count.
Yeah, it's important. It's like the Olympics of cooking.
Yes.
Right? And that's one of my favorite things about the Thanksgiving holiday. It's not a lot of gift giving. It's really a foodie holiday, which is fun if you like to cook, or like me, you like to eat. You know, you show up ready and raring to go.
Yeah, think about it. You're at least a couple of days before Thanksgiving, people are already kind of, if you're working, people are doing the Friendsgiving, the office potluck, whatnot. You're not worried about the gift giving. So the pressure's off, and you're just focused on the food or the eating, seeing your family. Yeah. You know, there's football. The next day, you're relaxing, getting over the food coma or the hangover, one or the other. And then you go into a weekend. So basically you have a 4-day vacation, you know, so it's wonderful.
It's pretty brilliant. I think it's pretty brilliant. You brought up a subject that is very near and dear to my heart, and that subject is leftovers. So I'm curious, Chef, do you enjoy the day after Thanksgiving as much as you enjoy the Thanksgiving event itself?
Absolutely. If I had a lot of turkey left over after this, I'd toast a really nice croissant. I would actually go through the effort of finding my favorite bakery, getting a freshly baked croissant, a few of them. I'd get some of the guava marmalade. Again, I'd use strawberry jam if not. Get some nice whipped cream cheese, take all that leftover turkey. I'd even sprinkle a little bit of butter and sugar on the top of the croissant, put that in the oven and make like a delicious Monte Cristo meets Elena Ruth type of sandwich, and just, let the tartness and the creaminess from the cream cheese, the turkey, and then the sweetness from the jam. Oh boy, all wrapped up in a luscious croissant. Flavor fireworks.
Flavor fireworks. I love it. I think for me, my favorite is when you sort of like take home that little container from whoever's house you were at, where you sort of carefully jammed in there everything that you hope to find in the fridge the next day.
Yeah.
And it's all cold. I'm really comfortable eating cold sides, but sometimes it's nice to kind of reheat everything properly. But you get that like sweet potato mixed with the corn souffle, the cornbread. Are you a cornbread gal?
Love it. Yes. All variations of it.
Yeah. So if you were going to do this flavor profile, is there anything you would change or add to the cornbread if you were making it with the jerk flavors?
I'd go on the sweeter side. So I'd stick to like the honey cornbread, honey butter in the cornbread, even doing a honey glaze on top of the cornbread, just so that you have that contrast of flavors from the spicy, and then that, you have that saltiness from the cornbread, and then honey on top. Boom.
I love it. And Chef, I'm curious, for people who are doing this for the first time, if you were going to recommend to them the things that they could start to tackle for any Thanksgiving in advance of Thanksgiving Day, are there some dishes that you suggest? I know the compound butter worked very well for that. Things you could make in advance so you're not so stressed out.
So the brine can be made in advance. The butter can be made in advance. You can chop your Mirepoix in advance. You could even have all your ingredients measured out for like the day of cooking. So you're not spread out all over the kitchen. You can have them in like little disposable containers. So you're not taking everything out of the pantry. So just that would get you light years ahead of like cooking everything day of.
Yeah, I love that. And I'm curious too, for me, Thanksgiving continues all the way through the dessert, because it's like, you have to make sure you save room in your stomach to get from dessert, from turkey to dessert, and make sure you can really represent in that category. So
you don't have a second stomach?
I save that for the next day, but yeah, you're right. I can't knock out, you can't overstuff yourself too much, or then you just kind of have to like roll home. It's so ungraceful. What would you say are some desserts that might make sense with this? Maybe like 2 or 3, right? Because everybody likes different stuff.
Passion fruit cheesecake, or any cheesecake, just cheesecake. Fantastic with this. A creme brulee, and pecan pie.
I love it. Okay. So I noticed that you did not include a pumpkin pie on this list. Are you a pumpkin pie girl?
Nope, I don't like pumpkin pie. I don't know why.
What do you have against pumpkins, Chef?
Oh boy. But I do like pumpkin cheesecake.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the pumpkin pie by itself is off your list.
No, not there.
Got it. Yeah. I feel like it's nice to have some ice cream if you're going with a pie, like an apple pie, or even pecan pie is so nice.
Yes, with vanilla ice cream. Spectacular.
Which seems like it would make a lot of sense with this flavor profile too.
I love that. Yep.
All right. I have a couple of questions for you, and then we may wrap a little bit early. Chef, what is the weirdest thing you have ever done to season or flavor a turkey in your cooking life?
This.
Really?
Yes, I have never thought of, adding a Caribbean twist to turkey, to an all-American, traditional style, feast, I've kind of just stuck to my like all-time favorite recipe that I've perfected throughout the years and kind of never thought of veering off that path. So this year was like, okay, let's do it.
Got creative. I love
Yeah.
it. I think a lot of people get intimidated by the holidays. And this year it's exciting to know, as every other year it has been, Jennie-O has a ton of resources. They're here to support home cooks left and right. You can hit jennie-o.com. There's a call-in number. I don't even know. I certainly want to call in and just prank everybody and find out if they've heard the "how long do you microwave your turkey for" prank. Have you done this to anybody yet? I did it to my mom last year. I called and I said, "Hey mom, I'm getting ready to make a turkey," because we live across the country from each other. "How long do you microwave the bird for?" And you just wait and listen. And it's, it's pretty funny. She was speechless for an extended amount of time. Hey, there's some good stuff over here in the chat. What are some reheating turkey tips? How do you reheat the turkey without it ending up dry, chef?
So this is why I said, keep your drippings, even if they're too much for the day of, because they're going to be gold. Like I tell you, gold when it's time to reheat. You don't put them in the microwave. You get a baking pan. You have your carved out turkey from the day before, and you put the drippings over it, cover it with aluminum, and bake for 20 minutes. That's it. It restores your turkey to 95% as Thanksgiving Day.
By the way, in the chat, the Jennie-O host is telling me I'm a terrible person and said the correct answer is 0 minutes in the microwave. Yeah. But it's really fun to prank people with it. The many chefs in your life who are very capable of cooking things, it's kind of fun to just see if you can like make them speechless for a couple of minutes. Comment in here. Chris says he's loyal to good old, Chris says he or she is loyal to good old mashed potatoes and gravy.
Gravy.
Yeah. I'm like, what we got? Yeah, mashed potatoes and gravy. I feel like the corn souffle is another important element. And the green bean casserole is another good one. Oh, look at that close up of the turkey. Wow.
Ooh.
It looks so good.
Thank you.
The only bummer about being in a Zoom is that I cannot come over and eat that right now. That means we'll all just have to do our own cooking. Okay, so tons of resources on jennie-o.com, 1-800-TURKEYS hotline, which is so cool. I don't know. Please don't call in and prank them about the microwave. Just ask your friends, maybe don't prank the hotline. Staff with experts and chefs who are there to answer any of your questions. If you're a home cook and this is the first time you're tackling a turkey, it's so exciting. Also, Chef Adrianne, it was so much fun to cook with you today.
Yes.
From afar, I feel like I learned a lot. I love the onion tip. That was cool. And I feel like people are going to learn about Mirepoix and just understand how useful that is. That seems like a really neat tip for people who maybe have never cooked a turkey before, how useful
Brine your turkeys. Brine your turkeys. Do not skip that step.
Brine the turkey. Yeah. 24 hours in the juice makes it juicier.
Yes.
I love it. You guys, I think we're going to wrap up. If anybody has any more questions, looks like we caught them all. The pecan debate also hit the chat too, although it's hard to hear pronunciation of pecan or pecan in the chat. Chef Adrianne, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was incredible. You guys stay tuned for our next guest. He'll be on in about 20 minutes at 12 p.m. Central. It's barbecue expert Dan Phelps. Learning to smoke is his sort of internet fame. Dan is a barbecue smoke fan turned social media influencer. The world has been following him in his smoking journey, and he's on his way to becoming a full-time pit master. He's going to show us how to smoke and grill a savory meal that you will not forget. I feel like I'm just going to stay tuned all day long and be starving, chef. It's just going to be the longest day of eating through my eyeballs on the Zoom.